all so much for being here. Thank you so much. I'm super excited, and I really, really want you guys to show me that excitement. I want you to also show me how inspired you are to be here as well. So I'm going to be inviting our next speaker, and I know you have all seen the flyer. You have also seen the profiles of these amazing speakers. So this is really great, to be honest, because I've been reading these profiles and I'm like, wow, Dare to Inspire has gone a long way to be able to bring these amazing personalities to you. So let's listen well, listen good, and ask a lot of questions as well. I know we have limited time, but at the same time, let's make good use of it. So without further ado, the next topic is turning lemon into lemonades, succeeding in the midst of adversity. Now, I mean, I don't know about you, but lemons are very sour, but then lemonades are sweet. So let's learn how to go from sour to sweet. And this topic is going to be taken and covered by Dr. Amina Ige Ariyibi. She's so amazing. I mean, I'm going to be reading her profile now, and while I'm reading her profile, I want you guys to just um give her a round of applause, to be honest. She deserves her flowers, she deserves her cakes and whatever it is that she loves. Dr. Chief Aminat Olawumi Ige is a grassroots personality who holds the title of the first Yeyemo Way. I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yeyemo Way of Agbara Kingdom, Ogun State rather. Dr. Aminat Olawumi is a lecturer at the Department of Mathematics, Lagos State University, where I went to, the Assistant and Director, Alumni Relations, Lagos State University Directorate of Advancement, and also the Public Relations Officer, Organization for Women in Science for the Developing World, LASU branch. Prior to lecturing, she was a senior banking officer cum data squad member at Sterling Bank Nigeria PLC and an IT assessor with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Dr. Aminat has a long list of awards and recognitions to her name, and her most recent achievement is her emergence as the award of the Best PhD Thesis Award in the Sciences and also the winner of the overall Best PhD Thesis Award in the University for the 2022-2023 academic session at the University of Lagos. Her achievement has been featured on many local and international platforms, including the South African Broadcasting Corporation. Having surmounted so many life challenges, her special desire is to live a life of impact by replicating her strength and wins through motivation, inspiration, and mentoring. A dream she is already living through her foundation and her hub, Yeye Oge Aminat Foundation and Bravehearts Mentoring Hub. Wow. I mean, I really hope that you guys are excited to have her here. I'm here to listen and to soak in everything that she has to say. Thank you so much, Ms. Aminat, and we are happy to hear what you have to share as well.
Thank you so much, Sister Anifra. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Okay, quick one is I need to appreciate the organizer, the convener, that's Ajia Bomi Adebimpe, and other supports she got from our team, and also the attendees. So when I got the topic and I learned that I have 15 minutes, I smiled. I was like, anyway, I'll be able to say one or two things and I also see beautiful faces, because the truth about it is that it's a topic that we can spend 6 months on. In fact, I currently run a 3-month course on something similar, and already in the class we're like, we hope this can even go beyond 3 months. But all the same, we are going to gain something, so we'll not be going empty. So I know my 15 minutes starts now. Okay, so I can start within time. I just thought of what I talk a lot, so I thought of what I would just say straight on and then cut it. So what I brought to us today is, I call it the 3S. So I summarized what I want to say into the 3S, because we want to turn lemon into lemonades. That's the heart of succeeding, even in the midst of adversity. We all know that lemon is sour. Even to those who like lemon, it's sour. Even when they put it in their mouth, they still like squeeze their face, even though they like it. But lemonade on the other side is a soothing juice, is a cool juice. And how do we now turn the lemons in our life into lemonades? Or you're prepared for something else, you're thinking of cooking a very nice dish, you were waiting for ingredients like you want pepper, you want this, or you want to make even a still juice, you're looking for apple, dates, and suddenly you have lemon with you and you still want to make a meaning out of it. How? Because at that point it's like everything is upside down. You're faced with challenges, you're faced with problems. Okay, like currently we know everywhere there's economic crisis everywhere. But the truth is that the economic crisis is global, but in fact, even before the global economic crisis, some of us already have our own individual economic crisis. So relationship crisis, to health challenges and different, so we're just talking about everything generally. So how do we now still continue, to make a meaning of life and eventually achieve success, even in the midst of all these problems or struggles or whatever? So I'll say you use the 3S approach. So the first S is smile. So smile. And I know someone is wondering smile as well. We're talking about adversities and she's saying smile. So I'll say smile, strike, and then swap. So you're wondering, so a lot of people say I smile a lot. I smile a lot. So sometimes my uncle, my husband, they say they are scared of me that they realize that I seem to smile more when I'm in trouble, when there is a problem than when there is no problem. And I tell them that, well, you people already know that when it comes to handling issues, it's not that I like it, I don't want problems on my way. But when it comes to coping through it, I don't even know where my Allah. I don't know what I did on my Allah. He blessed me differently, and alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So the first thing is to smile. So yes, it's sunnah. The first thing is to smile. So you've just got a lemon. You just look at that lemon and tell yourself, this is a lemon. But look at it as a jar, a big jar of lemonade. And they're not just looking at it as a big jar of lemonade that after you make it, you drink and then you feel some relief. Look at it as a jar of lemonade that you will not only drink from, you will also, give others to drink from. And in fact, if possible, you will even make money from. So just imagine that there's a ladder across the wall, is leaning on the wall. And I tell you that if you can cross that ladder to the end of the other fence, you're going to find $500 million. What will you think to yourself? You'll be climbing. Yes, you'll be tired, but you will not cry. You will feel pain, but you will not cry. Because you will tell yourself 2 more steps left, 2 more, and then you'll be smiling. I'm moving closer to it. I'm getting closer to it. So the first thing is just to smile. See the adversity, see the problem, see whatever challenge you have as an opportunity to grow. That's a lot of money, yeah. See it as an opportunity to grow. See it as an opportunity to launch into something you're probably not even prepared for, but that might launch you higher than what you have been planning for. So when you see that an opportunity to grow, you keep going. And what keeps you going? Optimism. You are optimistic that I will get there. I will get results. I will get out of it. And I will still get what I want, but I'll get something better. So the thing is, it's your mindset first. It's your mindset. So first thing, once you say, oh my goodness, this is a problem, I cannot get out of this. What is this? It is just going to be exactly what you've seen it as. But once you see it as, okay, so this is the dimension you want to come through, let's go there. And then you smile, Yes, when I was younger, when we watched Nollywood movies and we see these Babalawo stores and they say that maybe those fake stuff of calling somebody and trying to, do the person harm. And in some scenes, we hear they say that, that person, the Babalawo will tell the person, the Abalis will tell the person, the person is very stubborn. The person's will say, let that permit me to speak Yoruba. And I'll just tell people that, see, that person is not seeing them as a problem, is not seeing problem. The person is smiling through life, the person is just keeping focus, and somebody is just using deception to collect money from the other person because they've asked you to try different things, is not working. That person is smiling through his struggles and then nothing is happening. So you just smile first, see it as an opportunity. Don't just smile. Look at it like, so let me make a practical example of myself. I think I did a post some weeks ago when one of my previous bosses in the bank wrote a message on my wall. So I reposted that message. So I remember he said it, and it happened that year. I was in the hospital. I was on chemo for some months. Then he came, and before he left, he said, I mean, I remember me, like, he's scared of me. I said, what? He said, they came to visit me, and he thought that they were going to be telling me, don't worry, there's still more to do in life. Smile, don't worry, you overcome this. But it's funny that they came to visit me, but I became a comedian. They are the ones laughing. So he asked me that, are you not even scared of death? I said, death bow. It's nothing like that. It's not time. And if it is time, then as a Muslim, I believe that, in fact, it's even better for me that I'm going through this pain now, because it's a way to atone for my sin. There's a way Almighty Allah use, pain, sickness, and to erase our sins before death. So either life or death is still win-win for me if I take advantage of the period. So smile. So in the current situation, food is expensive. Nothing is really going well in the country. If you want to look at it on a larger scale like that, and I'm still saying you should smile. Yes, I'm still saying you should smile. So if you smile, you're like, have 300 naira, and we need 1,000 naira to eat this night. We eat along, but this night, and then you are happy. See, if you go out with that spirit, in fact, it might be the first person you smiled at that will say, Alaja, oh girl, it's just this smiling. Every time you're always smiling. Alaja, come. Probably if you were not even in that smiling spirit, you just salam alaikum, you will not even remember that he had a gift he wanted to give people for Ramadan. So no matter what, when you smile, it's always a win-win. So smile in the midst of your adversity. Just smile. So when you smile, you have there's this calm that engulfs you, and then you're able to strike. So striking involves now tackling what the problem is. So depending on what the challenge is, there are different approaches. Of course, we can't go into it. So, but for instance, you have a financial challenge, there are ways to address it. There are ways you can seek support. There are ways to, so when this whole thing started recently, and some of my friends were like, we told you to leave Nigeria, you're always doing agidi, you had opportunities, you threw out, and then look at your salary has become kinikon dollars, I'll make it in 1 hour. I told my friends, people, please, I'll make these dollars. But immediately, I started thinking of, ways to increase my income, at least to increase my income. So that's one. So if it is a relationship issue, there are experts to meet. There are steps to take also to, to tackle relationship issues. If it's marital, if it's family. So because you are now calm, because you're smart, because you are optimistic, because you have worked on your mindset, because you already know that there is a solution. If you don't believe there is a solution, then you will not even be able to do things to find that solution. But because you already believe there's a solution, now you can find a solution to it. So you use the right tool to find the solution to your challenge. So yes, I was not well. I had cancer. I went to the hospital. I was seeing a gynae oncologist, and that was it. And of course, I'm not even talking about health. When I was divorced, when I was divorced, the person was like, "Oh, good. That means that is not your route. That's not my route." I just thought of it, so the divorce. And then I strike. What did I use? I quickly, okay, I'm divorced. I am going to get married again. I am not locking up, but I am carefully selecting. And has that problem is by one side, I am striking it. I did not isolate my life to you. So that's one thing you should know. Do you keep going? So I'm thinking of tackling that problem. Yes, I'm going to be married again. Marriage is not, for me, it's not as calm, it's not anything. I am, and then by this side, I was chasing other life goals. So be able to isolate so that it does not disrupt your whole life. So you strike, you take care of it, and then you keep the other side of your life by your side, and you continue to move on. So you've got lemons, and then you need sugar or a sweet syrup and water to make into lemonade. What do? You go and get the syrup. Now, I may need more than you do. You may need more than I do. I don't sit down and say lemonade cannot be made. I go ahead. And if I want to eat rice by the side, I'll be preparing side as I'm seeking for sugar to turn that lemon into lemonade. I don't sit back. And the beautiful part of it is that we can get support systems. You can build a family. You can join a community, of people who have similar challenges or people who have overcome some of these challenges. Now, the third part is to soar, and it flows from the second part. And the sweet part of it is this. Haven't you noticed that most times it is those who have faced a lot of challenges in life that come out top? So it is what it is. It is an opportunity for you to grow. It's for you to seize it or not seize it. If you seize it, you are going to be flying. Now, let me tell you how that works. I'll talk about the arithmetic of it. So somebody has, let's say that person's value at that point, victory value or success value is 1. And so the person does not really have problems. The person just continues to work at the pace of, okay, let me get 1 more every year, 1 more every day. So the person's at 1. By next year, the person is at 2, so the person is increasing by +1 because no issue per se. You're at -3. That person has added 1 to 1 and had 2. What do you need to add to your own -3 before you can even get 2? You need a whole 5. But because you are in deep problems, in deep adversity, you have to work double, you have to take off things to do. So the moment you are able to strike correctly, life has given you a minus. So I tell people, life has given you a minus. Strike in the middle and find yourself a plus. The moment you can strike that minus in the middle and find yourself a plus, and then you realize that you have put in like 5 times, so 5 efforts. If you add your 5 to the -3 that you have, you are now at 2 with that same person, right? That person has 2, you have 2. But you know what? That person did not really go through so much problem. So the person is going to be increasing. Oh, okay, I thought my screen went off. So the person is going to be increasing as +1 every time. But you've gotten 5 to meet up with 2. If you keep up that pace, the same efforts that got you 5 to add to your -3 to get 2, you will now be adding 5. So from 2, you go to 7. You become a sequence, arithmetic progression, right? You become 5. From 2, you become 7. Sorry, from 7, you become 12. From 12, you become 19. That person moves from 2 to 3 to 4. So that's just the analysis of that person, of you now coming top. But you are the one who has gone through hardship. But because the same effort you use to get out of that hardship, if you sustain it, and that is where resilience, and don't be complacent and let resilience go. So resilience is just simply the challenges we see. We are humans. We will continue to face difficulties at different times. But when you develop the skills to bounce back from them, and you continue to bounce back, you will soar even above people who have not experienced difficulty before. And before you know it, you're just going up there, up there, up there. And one day you just find yourself in fact, at that table, that top you want to be, and you just tell yourself, but I've been going through problems. How come I am suddenly here and the whole world wants to identify with me? How come I am now this big person? So you smile through your struggles. After smiling, that's you are being optimistic about it. You have this mindset that, of course, because I tell people that, okay, at my last Ramadan lecture, I said, Allah has promised us that with difficulty comes ease. Initially, he said in chapter 65 that after difficulty comes ease. Then later, he said, no, in 94 that with difficulty comes ease. It's not even after. So it already comes as a package. The difficulty has come with the ease. It is just you that you are seeing the difficulty. It is now left for you to tap into the ease, to get yourself access to the ease. So surely there is ease. Somebody might want to ask me, what do you mean? I have breast cancer, for example, and probably terminal, and doctor says I'm going to die. So what's the ease coming? What if I die? Is there still ease? Like I said earlier on, even in death, there is ease. Even in death. And we cannot do anything about that. So if you don't die and then you overcome it, there is ease. You become a winner. You come out with victory. You become a point of, success, a point of identification with people. People want to learn from you. You impact in people. You get blessings from it. You get fulfillment as well from it. So in the face of adversity, smile, strike your minus, get yourself a plus, and then soar. Just continue. And we'll all be here to celebrate you. So in the face of whatever is going in the country now, smile, strike into the minus, so find a way, human way of overcoming your challenges. And after that, whatever got you out of it, sustain it, and you'll soon become a victor and a winner. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That is super short, super straightforward, and three amazing essays. I hope we all got that right. I do have one question here, and I would like to read it out to you, Sister Aminat. It's a very personal question to this attendee. So she's asking that because you're also in a polygamy. So she said her husband took another wife, and she feels really bad about it because she thinks he and his wife doesn't put her emotion into consideration. She's feeling really depressed, and she just wants to move on with life without depression. So I think she needs an answer from you. She needs words of encouragement and probably maybe a next step or a guide.
Okay. So thank you. So I'm still going to use the 3S. If she is seeing it as an adversity, actually as Muslims, we are enjoyed not to see it, we are enjoying to see it as an opportunity to serve Almighty Allah. But the truth is that we are women. We are humans to start with, and then we are women. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy on anyone. Even if I were to be the third wife and I'm bringing a fourth, it's not going to be easy. My husband is still my husband. So for me, I would say that it should not present to you as an adversity, but of course, it should present that way first. Now, that is where you have to first smile, get optimistic about it. Why don't you first tell yourself, run on your mindset first, that what if, what if this is going to have some good for me? Because Allah has promised that there is good in it for you anyway. But why don't you check out what exactly, and then also ask yourself, what exactly do you think? Check yourself. Wait, are you also doing anything that now makes you feel? So, for instance, I think I heard you say our husband and the new wife are not putting maybe our emotions into check. Or okay, I'm going to make myself an example. Yes, I will not be going to personal things that are not to me alone, since the third parties are not here. But for instance, yes, I'm in polygamy. You would see me sometimes celebrating my husband on my wall. And let's say it like this. Let's say my co-wife feels that we are not considering our emotion. That's a very good example in that regard. Now, what about this? Let me put myself in my co-wife's shoe. How about you celebrating our husbands, or we celebrating our husbands together? Now, if you're not the type there are people who are not loud about putting their husband out there, celebrating their husband. So you don't necessarily have to be the other person, right? But what if you see that person as, well, any good thing she's writing about her husband, she's writing about my husband too. So if there are people who don't know these things about my husband, they should go to the page of my co-wife. You will see that my husband is a great man. I don't like writing or something, So that is one part for it. Okay, let's assume the other part is maybe you feel they use love languages a lot, or when they're around you, they hold each other. To be honest, it's not that it is still simple. It's not that it's still easy. But like I said, if you look at the end result, one, if you feel, okay, I'm serving Almighty Allah through this. Two, if you look at what if I join them? As long as they are not saying, no, don't come into our love space. Of course they can't, because if they are Muslims enough, they should know that you should all be one. What if you join them? And then at the end of the day, you are all happy, you all have peace. I don't know this person's particular definition of not putting our emotion into consideration now. So, but what if you try to be positive towards it and see, in fact, maybe this other woman even wishes, for instance, if it's me, if my co-wife was the type that gels along and then likes these things that I do for who I am, for people who know me. See, I want to post myself and my co-wife and put our husband in the middle and say, people should look at how this man is enjoying. But if my co-wife is like, please, then how would you say they're not putting your emotion into consideration? For example, when you have not made yourself available, then you talk about being depressed. Please don't be depressed. First, seek the face of Almighty Allah. Tell Almighty Allah to make it easy for you, and may make it easy for you. Don't be depressed. Because the truth is that what happens about depression, it gets you sick. If at the end of the day, you return to Almighty Allah in that situation, the woman eventually has the man to herself alone. And if you don't, if you stay alive, you stay alive as if you're not alive. Obviously, the man will still spend more time with the woman who is ill and healthy. Even if it's by your side, you're not enjoying it. And if you decide to leave your marriage, you are eventually going to become that Muslim that you have repelled in your own marriage. May Almighty Allah make it easy for every one of us. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I can't hear. I'm not sure I can hear anything.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We can hear you.
Yeah, Sister Anifa, I'm done with that question. I hope you had me all through.
I'm thinking Sister Anifa might have some bit of internet issues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Alaja Tope Adiola, do you want to take over? Are you here?
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, I am. Thank you. Thank you so much. I have just been regurgitating on the words that you have shared. And I think for me, I mean, you have said it all. I look at all of the, I mean, Nigeria is an example, is a very good example of, you know, how we can look at around us and see what we can turn that are lemons into lemonades. I just look at everything that is going on, and, you know, just reading your profile and all of the things that you have said is a reminder just to remember to keep thinking positive, because the truth is that we can decide to see only the negative in everything that is going on. But I mean, look at the story that you have shared. If somebody who is on the sick bed can look around and still think positively, then who are you who are healthy not to be able to think? So all we can say is thank you so much, Dr. Amina. May Allah accept everything that you have shared with us today as an act of ibadah. Thank you for your time. And I guess, do we have any other questions right now?
At the moment, it looks like that's the only question that we have on.
Perfect. So we will just, please stay on here with us till the end of the session. I am sure that more questions will come up as we go on. And of course, we would like you to close with us and also share with us as we continue. But we will now hand over to the next speaker.
Yeah. Sister Memuna is ready for us. All the way from Kenya. Alhamdulillah.
Is ready for us. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Maimuna.
Do you want to read out her profile? Sister Ronke, do you want to read out her profile?
Okay.
Everybody needs to know Sister Maimuna.
For Sister Maimuna, alhamdulillah, thank you for joining us. Sister Maimuna is joining us from Kenya. Sister Maimuna Abdul Khair is a Muslim woman. She's passionate about Muslim women and, she's passionate about Muslim women and she has skills in contemporary and Islamic knowledge. Sister Maimuna is a wife and she is blessed with a son and a daughter. She is also a daughter to two. Oh, sorry, I think I missed that. She's also a daughter to two wonderful parents who are professional. She is a professional public finance expert and supports governments, businesses, and individuals in money management. I'm looking forward to that. She has over 22 years of experience in employment and entrepreneurship. She began mentorship work at Nairobi Muslim Academy, talking to high school girls, sharing skills for better study and focus on education. She later expanded those talks to providing training for teenage girls during school holidays at the masjid on this as the habit of reading, career choices in Kenya, trails of education excellence, amongst others. She has supported Muslim organizations in using information from their audiences to develop programs that fit their needs, including financial literacies, conferences, youth conferences, and marriage conferences, amongst others. Thank you as you join me to welcome Sister Maimuna Abdul Khair to give us the wonderful speech around the topic, money management, speaking broadly around money management. Jazakumullah khairan, Sister Maimuna, you have the floor.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for inviting me. As far as Nigeria, I'm passionate about money matters and our ummah, and I was very excited to be part of this, just to be able to listen in. MashaAllah, may Allah accept from you the efforts that you're making. And eighth one means that you really made efforts towards bettering the ummah, and it's really good. It's for the youth, young people. It's really something that's really needed, especially amongst the Muslim. So I'm very happy to be part of this forum, and even listening into Sister Aminat. I mean, it's very informative what she said, very applicable to adversity, how we look at things, and very well summarized, mashallah. So given the few minutes, I will dive into the subject is money management in high inflationary environment. So just to look at that topic, the key thing there was the inflationary environment. I think the best example I can look at this point is within our and like you said, Sister Aminat, the current inflationary environment is global. It's everywhere. We have different reasons why prices are not favorable for people, but even when they are favorable, money management is something that for a lot of people, especially Muslims, we move between contemporary, and then again we are back to very spiritual, religious thinking about money again. So on that subject, I just looked at a few points. What are these things that if we look at whether it's an there's inflationary environment or not, you could still be able to be good at managing your money? So first, let's say, what is money? Like, to you, what is money? Money in Islam is risk. It's one of the forms of risks that Allah has given us. That's just like health, just like family, just like good health, wealth. Money is one of the risks of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us as human beings. So when we have it, how then do we look at it? For me, the first lesson I learned about money is the one that provides is not us. The one that provides is Allah. So I think for us as Muslims, sometimes we are very burdened by the responsibility of providing for everyone who has a need. But Allah is capable of providing for everyone. So He chooses you as a medium for doing something. So when we look at money, first we must understand that we are not providers of anyone. Even we are not providers of ourselves. Allah is our provider. So as you plan to do things, sometimes you're constricted and you're not able to do things beyond a certain level. Remember, that other level, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able to. He is able to. He's just not given you that opportunity at that time to do it. So look at money in that form. 1. 2, when you're not earning any money, for young people, I think it's important to gain skills. Just seek to gain skills that maybe in the future it will be the source of money for you. Because when you're young, like money management, your source of income is limited. People don't know you. You're not a brand. You're not known by many people. You don't get phone calls saying, this person is really good at this. Seek to do things like this. Volunteer. Be part of things. Just be part of things. That way, over a long period of time, you will have a skill. 2, 3, you will have a network of people, They say your network is your net worth. I think for young people, when you're not in an active employment, sometimes you think, then that's it for me. Like, I don't have another opportunity for money. So how can I talk about money management? But I think you start early, start with giving back, start gaining skills with others. Then with time, of course, you'll grow from there, inshallah. For those that have the money, now when you start having the money, I've talked about giving. When you give out money, even if it's in an inflationary environment, Allah says, give and I will give you, you know. So sadaqah is a way of amplifying what you have. Yeah. So look at it that way. Give as a way of getting back. Another thing is maintain halal earnings, even if there is an inflationary environment. I know we say, what do we do? What do we do? We don't have money. Yeah. What do I do now? This is the only form of income I have. No. Halal has barakah. Halal has barakah. So maintain halal. If you can maintain halal, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make that good for you. Even if it's little, do that. Another thing is borrow responsibly. I think in money management, borrowing responsibly is one of the key things. So in Kenya, I can look at, even in Nigeria, it's the same. You know, there are people who borrow in another currency. You've taken money from someone in US dollars and the dollar is just hitting rooftop, you know. Borrow responsibly. Don't borrow in a way that you know you cannot do it tomorrow. Or you're like what Sister Aminat said, like, you know, Nigeria, things have changed. So you're not abroad at that time, you're in Nigeria and things have gone up. Don't seek services for things you cannot pay for, you know, especially for the low income earners. You know, that means if someone has done cleaning for you, if someone has done repair works for you, and you cannot afford it, you've borrowed, that means even that person is also in an inflationary environment because of you now. So borrow responsibly. Only go into borrowing where you know you are capable of doing that. If it's not something you're able to do, do not take it up. It's okay to downgrade your lifestyle. And also remember, in the provision, Allah says that sometimes he does not send down that which you're saying at that time. So you must be able to accept that in that day you didn't have that. So you cannot plan to spend and you did not get. Yeah. So have patience in that moment as you gain skills, as you do other things, but don't use that the resources that you do not have. You know, sometimes I hear people say, like here in Kenya, we say, Allah will bring. It's true, Allah will bring, but in this moment, today, at this time, 23rd March, it is not here. So Allah did not bring today. So as you wait for tomorrow, do not like make financial decisions based on something that is optimistic. It's good to be optimistic, but wait for it. When it comes, then do it. But don't say, you know, Allah is Ghani, Allah, he'll give me what yes, he will, but within what you have. That's, I think for me, for Muslims especially, I think that's usually very critical. And then in inflationary environments, people are not calm sometimes. And even in Islam, the Prophet says, At-ta'anni min Allah wal ajlatu min ash-shaytan, calmness is from Allah. And hurry is from the shaitan. So you see, like people say, oh, there's inflation now. Oh, we must buy a lot of flour. We must buy a lot of sugar. We must buy. So you're not calm. You're not making financial decisions in a calm state because you want to keep things for that future. When you're in an inflationary environment, make decisions in a calm state, Because I see a lot of people, even here, like a lot of people were hoarding US dollars, with the economy is not doing well. What will happen? We need to just put our money aside. But when they ask me, I say, which other country do I have to go and live? I only have Kenya. So if I put this dollar, where will I go? Huh? I only have this country. So now the government made some debt payment, and so the dollar is stabilizing. And there are long queues. People are returning back. Now they're saying the country is going to be stable, so we can bring back our money. That's not a good, because you don't have another country. This is the one that you have. So when you think about putting things like you're preparing for a state of emergency. It's not even a good way of living, yeah? So make decisions that are calm when you're making money decisions. And then I think when you're young, on money management for the youth is do not compare yourself. Like make sure that if in this season, your income is only enough for public means of transport, stick to that. That is the only way you can save. You can put something aside for tomorrow. That is the only way you can live within your means, yeah? But when you're comparing, you're always seeking to, do what is at the standard of others. But I mean that's never a good thing for you when you're youthful. And I know when you're young, there's a lot of that noise. How do they see me? How am I? I like there's a very nice video from one of these West African countries on TikTok of a gentleman that has an amazingly beautiful voice, really beautiful Quran voice. But his shirt is tattered somewhere, and that does not take away from his Quran recitation. Like everybody still stares at that video just to listen to his Quran recitation. That is his skill. So when you're looking at yourself as an individual for good money management, be someone that does not compare yourself. Like don't want to be like, the next door and how they are living their life. Only spend what you have. And as I said, give sadaqah, help others within what you have. So this is what I say, money, if you're salaried, the money that you receive as your salary is your rizq. That is what Allah has provided for you. If it's 100 shillings, it is what is your provision for those 30 days of the month. So you cannot plan for another money. There's no other money coming. That is the money you have. That is your money. So when you start thinking about it in that form, you now work within that box. And then again, I also say this to Muslims. A lot of times, those that are not good in financial management say, Allah is ghani. I say it's true. But do you live life with a miracle? Every day you need a miracle. I mean, if you look at even the prophets,
Samaimana, are you there?
I think we lost her.
Okay, you're back. I can see you're back.
lost me.
All right, yes, please go on.
All
Go on,
right, all right.
internet went off.
All right, sorry about that. So I was saying, you cannot live like, when you look at money management, you cannot live with that notion of there's going to be a miracle. There's going to be that money that you want that will help you do that other thing. Just within that small box you've been given, there's enough for you to put aside for a rainy day. There's enough for you to live within in that period of time. There's just enough. And people progress. Like today you're in step 1, just the way Sister Aminat was saying. Step 2, progressive. So as you grow your money, you take the steps one step at a time. The other one is in an inflationary environment, having several sources of income is important. I think for young people, several sources of income requires humility. Humility is really key because you're not really known by many people. So someone will call you to take minutes for them, maybe. Somebody else will call you only to receive calls for something. Sometimes when you look at that source of income that is additional for you, you're like, me, why would I do that? Why would I do that? So that kind of thinking, that an additional source of income, it might not be what you see as a good source, like a good source of income, but as you grow older, as your skills are better, as you're like known for certain things, then you can now get to choose, this one I don't want to do, this one I don't want to do, this one I don't want to do. But as you're starting off, be open, be open and be humble about opportunities. What kind of work are you open to doing? And another thing is, patience in employment. I see that with youth in money management. Youth leave work very easily, like you'd see the challenges like, this environment is not conducive for me. I know today with the subject of mental health, like I'm not comfortable in this environment. I want to quit. I think before you like leave a source of income that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, I think it's very important to put together like a plan. Just don't pack and leave. I think that's in my view, and when I started off work, it's not a good strategy of money management. A person who asks and a person who has, they're not the same. When you have, you're better placed to how do I say, do the things that you have set out for yourself, as compared to when you're asking, So it's very, very important to, like, for me, when I was younger, I know money management for me was more of maintaining the income, putting something aside for saving, because putting something aside for saving when you're young and you have many responsibilities, you want to take care of everything, knowing that Allah is a provider and I'm not the one that provides for everyone, was very critical. Putting something aside, even if it's small, for the savings is very important. And investing in yourself, that's the last one. Invest in yourself, educate yourself, learn, consistently be someone that is learning. I mean, today there is so much free learning, So learn. That is really a critical way of managing your money. In Kenya, we have courses on personal finance, and like a sister was saying, it's almost like a format. I have studied accounts, I have studied finance, but I've taken personal finance classes just to know what does that mean? What do you mean about money? So learn about money, learn about how money is managed in your country, like what are the skills, what are people saying about investing in land in Nigeria, for instance, like here in Kenya, you'll hear everyone saying, there's very good land now here. They're saying it's very good. Then a few years you hear the government is destroying that land. Like, how did you decide to put your money there? Learn about things. Yeah, I've heard there's this scheme, you put money there, then in a few months, your money is out. Like, don't be in that kind of situation. Be someone who learns about their money issues. So I think those few advices, inshallah, are my few points in terms of how to look at money. And just to say shukran, jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah accept from you this good work you're doing with the youth. Shukran.
Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah reward you too abundantly. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for enlightening us and sharing from your wealth of knowledge. May Allah Azza wa Jal accept it from us, and may He make it impactful in our lives, because it's one thing to listen, it's another thing for us to digest it. And something I really picked when you were talking was the fact of staying calm while making a decision. I feel like that's one tough thing for a lot of people, the ability to stay calm when there is issue or conflict. It can be quite tough. Please do remember that you can send your questions in the Q&A box. If you have any question for Sister Maimuna, please send it to the Q&A box so that we can ask it. But I have a question, and it's both around staying calm, because that's something that a lot of people struggle with. I personally struggle with it, because sometimes I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So how do we stay calm? What are, maybe in a short sentence, what are the things we can do to stay calm when we are, in a very tight corner?
Thank you very much, Ruqayya, Sister Ruqayya. So for me, when it comes to money, when I say stay calm, when it comes to money, is I create spaces that allow me to make financial decisions in that state of calm. So, for instance, your financial decisions, if you're a person who is depending on the period within which you earn an income, you make a decision once in that period. So for me, as an entrepreneur in my business, all expenditure decisions are made on one day. Even if the roof falls, we will rebuild the roof next week on that day. That is just to create the discipline that, I mean, we're not coming to a state of emergency every day. My employees know that. I know that every financial decision for my business is made one day, one expenditure decision on that day. What that does is we sit through and discuss, and that person lists the things. They list down, the roof, okay, it's fallen, yeah, but well, we could just put sellotape until Monday. Yeah, well, it's not so bad. You know, you're able to actually write or think through what expenditure decisions is it that we need to make. And when we are seated to make them, we are in a state of calm. But when you call, or for instance, it's an emergency, the roof is falling, I'll tell you, find anyone who can fix it now. How much will it cost me? I don't know. How much will it be at the end of this period? I don't know. So I'm in a state of emergency. I have to fix this roof. Maybe even it's not going to rain for the next 4 weeks. Maybe even that room, no one is living inside it at that time. You know, in my business, I can do without that space for a few days. But creating that space, I think it's very important. That's one, making financial decisions at a point, not every day. Secondly, if you're salaried, that is, if you're someone who has a salary, making a financial decisions once every month, one day every month, that takes a lot of discipline. And so once you're in that state, like for me, when I started practicing that, in one of the classes that I was attending, I would tell the teacher, the feeling, I think it's really not a nice feeling to feel poor. And she says, it's really a feeling, Maimuna. I'm like, for sure. Like, I cannot spend. So she said, that's the thing that you need to deal with, the feeling that you have. But really, you need to just find that discipline to be able to make those future decisions. Even when you look at COVID, like when we had COVID, everybody was in the supermarket and people were really shopping, you know. I have to have everything in the house. I have to. So then they said after 1 week, everyone said, I mean, we've eaten all the junk. We've finished all the snacks. Do you even eat them every day? You don't. Yeah. So calm in terms of just having that good thinking about, and even just to think about adversity. Like if I give you a good example of our neighbor country, Somalia. You know, when the war broke out in Somalia and a lot of people were now trying to find asylum in other countries, you'd be surprised that people who found it very easy to move between countries are women that converted their wealth to gold. They had a lot of gold that they could, you know, tie it up somewhere. So every time they made small money, they changed it into gold and they tied it. So when it came to this war, you know, that's the worst that we can think of, war. I mean, for us, many of us would be, where do we go to the bank? Do we, you know, these people just had, and these were not people from cities. These were people from, you know, rurals. They were able to just move, you know, convert that and use it as transport as they moved. And they came to, like in Kenya, they came and they started businesses of their own. They rebuilt their lives again. But if you look at how, is it something that's so heavy to carry? It's not. It's something very simple, yeah? But then when we are in such states, we are not in a state of calm, you know? We're like, we want to do everything. We want to buy everything. We want to do so many things, yeah? So that calm, for me, that's what I always think about. And then just being minimalist, you know? When you're in a state, another example I can give is I have a younger sister that was in Ukraine during the war, when the war just broke out, and she was just finishing exams. So when the news began, I told her, the only thing you need is your passport and the money that you have. I said, and my computer and my clothes, and I said, you'll find all those things again. Just carry your backpack, which has essentials. You know, you can brush your teeth, a few essentials, a backpack. That's the only thing you need. I said, and all these things, and my laptop, and my all these years of things, I said, all those things you'll rebuild. So against my advice, of course, she had 2 suitcases, which she dragged. And there was 20 kilometers for people to walk. Eventually, she left them. She left those suitcases and those things. And, you know, the most important thing was crossing over. Now it's 2 years. I mean, she has another laptop. She doesn't walk naked. She has clothes that she's worn. But then when she looks back, she says, you know, those bags were my biggest burden. Like I could have covered more distance. I could have been more mobile. I could have moved so much. But this thing was just carrying me. It was tiring. I wish I listened, you know. I just had one bag. That's enough for me. So basically, that state of calm, like when you're in a state of calm, you make better decisions. Yeah.
Yes, and then you're more solution focused. You know, when you take that deep breath, you will also be able to prioritize your needs against your wants. So yes, I think that's very important. Thank you very much. Thank you, May Allah reward you abundantly. Thank you so much. So I believe that people got everything because there's no question in the Q&A box. So I want to believe that it was well delivered. MashaAllah. Thank you so much. Now we would move on to the interlude. I know a lot of us have been waiting for this period where we see how fast you are and how knowledgeable you are about the religion of Islam. Are we ready? Are we ready? If we're ready, please let's type this in the chat box. Let's know that we're all ready. We'll get up for the interlude. I can see yes, yes, yes. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. All right, so well delivered, Jazakumullah khairan. Yes, well delivered, mashallah, well delivered. Thank you to Sister Maimuna for the very inspirational and also enlightening session. All right, so now let's go on to the interlude, the icebreaker. Are we ready? I see a lot of yes. So now we move on, and then we are ready. Let the cat out of the bag. Quiz time. It's time for the quiz. Okay, let the cat out of the bag. Okay, so Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, wallahu ala quwwata illa billah. Dua for what? What is this dua for? The first person. 3, 2, 1. Oh, mashallah, I can see. Mashallah. Some people didn't wait for me to finish reading the question. I've just started seeing answers. Mashallah, mashallah. Leaving home, going out. Sister Ramat says going out. Sulaima Khadija said for going out. Rukaya Alabisi. I can see so many responses. So, ta-da! Who got the answer right? Let's find out. Leaving home, mashallah. So, who is the sister who got it right? Who's the first person who got it right? We would also find that out. Okay, we have Bolanle Khadija. Please, let's confirm that that's the right name. Bolanle Khadija. Are we right? Please, can we confirm this?
I saw Bolanle Kafila.
Kafila. Okay, mashallah. Bolanle Kafila. So Bolanle Kafila. That's, yes, you got this round. You're the winner of this round. So please, please drop your phone number. Please do that so that we can have your details, please. Okay, I can even see you, mashallah. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. May Allah continue to reward you abundantly and may Allah increase you in knowledge. Bolandi Kafila, MashaAllah. But a lot of sisters, I just kept seeing the answers. Everyone was just dropping. MashaAllah. All right, now let's go on to the second question. In 3, 2, 1, let's unveil. Which Sahaba was mentioned by name in the Quran? Which Sahaba was mentioned by name in the Quran? This one, people are really taking their time. Isa, Zayd ibn Thabit. Okay, Zayd, Abu Bakr, Shuaib, Isa. Zaid. Zaid. Okay, so I'm seeing, let's keep the answers coming. Who knows? You might be the correct person. Let's keep it coming. And don't forget the question. Which Sahaba was mentioned by name in the Quran? Okay. Okay, and that's it. So who got it first? Who got it first? Let's see who got it first. Okay, let's check to see who got it first. Ah, Sister Mutmaina got it first. Sister Mutmaina Sani, mashallah. Sister Mutmaina Sani, please drop your contact details so that we can have it. So a lot of people had Zaid, but you have to complete it because they're different Zaid. So Sister Mutmaina, please let's have your details. Sister Mutmaina Sani, mashallah. May Allah continue to increase you in knowledge. Yes, Jazakumullah khairan wa yakum. May Allah increase you in knowledge. Thank you so much. And she just dropped our details as well. And I'm sure for a lot of people, it's also a learning curve. It's an opportunity for us to also learn about the deen. So if you didn't get that question, don't worry. We still have more questions coming your way. So let's move on to the next question now. Next question in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. What mount did Noah's Ark come to rest after the flood? This one, a lot of people are thinking. Okay, I've seen Sinai. Is that the correct answer? Is that the correct answer, Sister Miriam? Mount Sinai. A lot of Mount Sinai's. Mount Sinai. So who got it right? Mount Judy, Mount Sinai, Mount Judy, Mount Sinai. The answer is Mount Judy, mashallah. Mashallah. So who got it right? Who was the first person to get it right? So we'll look into that. I'm a new convert to Islam, mashallah. Welcome to the fold of Islam. May Allah make it easy for you. I see Adenike Christiana saying that, and please let's also make a dua for her. That Allah will make it easy for her, inshallah. And Allah will make everything easy for her to digest as well, because it's one thing to know and it's one thing to digest it and implement it in our day-to-day life. May Allah make it easy for you, my darling sister. So please, let's confirm for this last quiz who got it right. Admin, we're also trying to confirm that. Once the name is confirmed, we'll definitely let you all know. So may Almighty Allah make it easy for you, sis. Thank you so much for all the prayers for our sister Adenike Christiana. Ameen, ameen, ameen. I see a lot of prayers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase you in your knowledge and give us all retentive memory. Ameen, ameen, mashallah, ameen, ameen, ameen. Okay, so we're still trying to confirm who got the last question right before we move forward. Please, let's do that so that we can move on to the next question. Welcome home, Sister Adenike. May Allah keep you steadfast.
Sister Shukra actually sent to the hosts first.
Oh, wow. But please,
Sister, give me a moment. Yeah, give us a few seconds more to confirm that.
Okay, please do. Please do.
Sister Shukra Aruna sent it to the host and panelist first. So we are looking out for the first person, and it's Sister Shukra Aruna.
Okay, mashallah. So Sister Shukra Aruna, please let's drop our contact details. But please let's remember, let's use the chat box to send it to everyone so everyone can track it and we can all see it as well. May Allah make it easy for every one of us, inshallah. All right. So Sister Shukra Aruna, please let's share your details, please. May Allah guide you on this path and grant you goodness, Sister Adenike. MashaAllah. Ameen, 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 ameen. I can see a lot of prayers coming in for Sister Adenike, and I'm really, really glad that you are on this program, so you get to learn a lot also about the deen, especially during this month of Ramadan. May Allah make it easy for you. Okay, so Sister Shukra, please send your details. Now let's move on to the next question. Which wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did Allah greet with salam, sending Jibril as alayhi salatu wasalam to tell Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So which wife of Rasulullah did Allah greet with salam? I'm already seeing responses. Sisters on this platform, you're not even taking it easy on anyone at all. This is no grief for anybody. Playing out right now, mashallah. So we have our sisters sending in their responses. I see a lot of Khadija, Aisha, Afso, Khadija, Zainab. So who got it right? Let's find out. Khadija bint Khuwailid. Well, now this is another tricky part. Some people say Khadija. Which Khadija? Mashallah. But let's go back to the Amin to find out who got it right, who was the first to get it right. So we'll look at that and communicate as soon as we get that information. Who was the first sister to get this right? Who was the first sister to get it right? So we're looking into that. We're looking into that, but I can see that a lot of sisters are on fire. Like, I can see that a lot of people actually know about the deen. A lot of people are well informed, and that's something I really appreciate, because one can easily get lost in the moment, especially during this period. So I'm really proud that we are doing this. So we have the name Mariam Adebambo. Please send your details, Mariam Adebambo. Send your details to us. All right, so do we still have more questions? More questions? Do we still have more questions? Yes, we do. All right, let's go. Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr was a kunya name. That's a nickname and not his real name. What is his real name? What is his real name? What's the real name of Abu Bakr? All right, so can we have the answer, please? MashaAllah. So who got it right? Who got it right? Please, for the sisters who had sent their details earlier, please, can you also send it to the host and panelists so that we can have them as well? In case it gets lost in the pile, please send it to the host and panelists so that we can have your details. Okay, so we're still trying to get the name of the sister who got the question right, the first person to get the question right. Network got hanged. We're so sorry. We're so sorry. Okay, so while we do that, I can see a lot of comments. Network, so sorry about that. Oh, honestly, network got hanged. So sorry. Some people network. Oh, so sorry about your network issue. So do we have the name now? Okay, so right now I'll just hand over to my co-host to take it from here, mashallah. So we'll announce the name once we get it in. We'll announce the name. May Allah make it easy for us.
Thank you so much, Sister Rukoya. That was amazing. Hi everyone. Assalamu alaikum once again. I hope you are all having an amazing time. We are far behind schedule, but we'd like to get back some of our minutes And we've gone to Nigeria. We've also branched at Kenya. And now we are going to another country. And here we have Sister Sherifat Alaogun from all the way from Canada. And she's going to be talking to us about leveraging technology for growth. This is super dear to me because I'm in the technology space. So I'm going to be reading her profile now, and I want you all to do what you do best, encourage her and give her a round of applause as she's coming onto the stage. Sherifat Olaogun is a passionpreneur, a pharmacist, an author, a public speaker, a mentor, and a coach, and a corporate capacity builder. If you want more than what 9 to 5 offers you, your very own gift-turned business that makes you feel fulfilled, impactful, and purpose-driven, Sherifat is your cheerleader and guide. Sherifat helps passionate professionals, entrepreneurs, and aspiring coaches turn their God-given gift into a means of impact and income. She runs a personal brand at sherifat.alaogun.com with mindset and business coaching as a niche. She supports a community of women of like minds in our Embrace Your Passion private Facebook community. She's the curator of Shine Your Light, a Facebook page dedicated to serving a community at large. She's passionate about inspiring and empowering women to acknowledge and embrace their skills and talents as a means to a livelihood, to living fully on purpose and a means of service and impact. She has a bachelor's degree in pharmacy from the University of Lagos and is currently practicing part-time pharmacist in Canada. She's also a certified life and NLP coach with interest in helping clients monetizing their skills via online courses and coaching businesses launch. She runs workshops, masterclasses, webinars, online courses, coaching programs, empowerment goals for our clients. Now, a lot. This is a very wholesome profile, Ms. Sherifat. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining us. And please, you can go ahead.
Thank you, mashallah, jazakallah khairan. Thank you all so much for having me. How is our Ramadan going? May Allah accept it from all of us. Are you able to allow me to share my screen? And I hope I won't regret this. I love creating slides. So whenever I get the opportunity, so I hope it will not be too rushed. 15 minutes is like nothing, but we'll try our best. Let me see if I have screen sharing opportunities yet. Am I able to share my screen? Did you give me the capability to share my screen, or I should just?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, you can.
Okay. Bismillah. I'm not sure why I can't see my screen sharing capability, but let me see. Right, okay, we are just going to go on because I can't find it right now. Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi Shrali Sodri, wa yassir hamri, wa ahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawl. I pray that Allah would make this easy for me. So basically, I've been asked to speak about leveraging tech for growth. And the theme of our conference today is life choices amidst instability. So in doing that, I would like to go through a few talking points, just introduction to the topics, and then I'll share my journey with leveraging tech, and then also I'll share my prescription for the how. So leveraging tech, when we talk about leveraging tech, is being intentional or acting with awareness to make the most of what is available in terms of tech to us. And then when we talk about tech, a lot of us sometimes we think like big, which is good. For a long time, I didn't see myself as a techie person, but I find a lot of people would refer to me as a tech person. And I just see myself as somebody who did what needed to be done. Because if you're talking about being techie, that person is not me, or never used to be me. But because I went through a life situation where I needed to leverage on tech, or I needed to do what I needed to do at the time, I wasn't thinking tech. I was just thinking moving from physical delivery in person of my solutions to going online because of the need for it. So I'm not a very techy person, but I believe that if there's anything that has an A to Z with steps, it's going to take a while, it's going to be challenging, or it is doable. And that's how I became this person that people come to or refer to when they are talking about tech. Right, okay. So I would, for tech is a very broad term. It can be online tools, even your phone is a form of tech, the apps that you have on your phone, the software, gadgets, TV, internet, social media platforms, artificial intelligence more recently, even the microphone and the ring lights that we use to, enhance our online presence is all some form of tech, in my opinion. So basically, when we talk about growth is different from everyone, right? So growth will depend on your unique goals. What are you trying to do? Like we, as a coach, there's this thing that we talk about, wheel of life. Different areas of your life, to review it, maybe yearly, maybe every 6 months, and see and score yourself. Like your personal, your relationship, your health, your career, and all of that, and see which one you need to focus on, say in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, or in the next 1 year, so that you can see, so that none of the important areas of life is getting neglected for too long. So growth for a student could look like first class finish. For a career woman, it could look like, wanting to make impact or influence, or, being productive or getting promotion. For a coach, it could look like, creating digital products, connecting with ideal clients, making sales or selling, or, so basically growth is going to be different from all of us. So to drive that home just a little bit more, I would like to just mention a few examples of what we see commonly in our community, or you would know one person. I'm hoping that you can connect with, or even you can connect with one of these. And the reason why I'm sharing these examples is I want you to think as I'm talking further down the line, and see if you can find answers to some of these real life example or situations. So I'm going to give examples of 5 different people, and I want you to think, how can these people leverage tech for growth, especially amidst instability, before I share my own story. So there's a baker with 15 years experience who has found a secret recipe that is cheap and healthy at the same time. How can that person leverage tech for growth? There's a career woman who loves inspiring women to live their best possible, but the crossroad of wanting more than 9 to 5 allows her to do. Okay, there's a diabetic nurse who, for the love of patient care, discovered an easy way to help our patients take better control of our health. Okay, there's another pharmacist, I like pharmacists, who had health issues but overcame it with healthy food choices and exercise. There's 2 more to go. An accountant who loves all things fashion but tired of her current job. She makes her own clothes, and people always ask if she can do the same for them. There's a banker who had real bad skincare issues, and after years of research was able to learn about different skincare routines and products, so much that she was able to work her way out, and people started to ask her for help. So I want you to think through those examples. I'm sure you can connect at least with one of them. And how can this person leverage tech for growth? I'm sure we all have answers. If I was to talk to each and every one of us now, we would come up with so many different angles as how these people can leverage tech for growth. You don't even have to be a tech person. Just being in this world, just being out there, social media, seeing what people are doing, you can see how these people can leverage. I don't even need to be an expert. So the reason I'm driving on that point is that sometimes we have the answers within us already. We just need to have the courage to, embrace that opportunity, as it were, amidst instability. So what's my tech journey? How did I get here? I'm a pharmacist trained. And so I got to a point in my career cycle where I needed to, I wanted to be more. Sometimes that, I can't explain that it sounds ambiguous even to me, but that is the best expression of that, the space and time that I felt like 9 to 5 was boxing me up. There's nothing wrong with 9 to 5, by the way. I still have mine, but I felt I was capable of so much more, especially going by what I was doing behind the scene, what I was already helping people and family and friends with. So me wanting to do that in a professional way, coming from a professional background, to say, this is what I do. And it took me a long time to come to that realization that, you know what, there's no running away from this. I just have to do it, because it wouldn't go away. The nudge was constant. I'll see people doing something and I'm like, oh, I could do that. Oh, that resonates deeply with me. Oh, that's something I could really be doing. So I ended up following so many of my role models, so many people doing what I wanted to do. And I came across the concept of coaching, and I'm like, that makes sense. So what I was already doing behind the scene, to do it professionally, I think coaching will be my own pathway. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. So I started to train people in my basement. If you're familiar with Canadian, the way we build our houses, there's a lower part of the house where is a basement, it's like a hall, free space, or sometimes people use it as functional rooms. So I would have people gather together. Of course, before I did my first one, I was scared. Who would listen to me? Who am I to want to impact or share or bring people together? I spoke with people. I did a lot of learning. So I started. The first one, I would have done it free. But my friend, who I'm thankful to for till tomorrow, said, Sherif, I know the value that you bring. Don't do it for free. Charge. Anyway, I did. And people paid. It improved my self-confidence. So I started the first one, the second one within 3 months, and another one. I'm like, but another need came up, another instability, if you like, came up. People were asking me that they wanted to be part of that program, but they couldn't come in person. So that meant, I needed to be able to create that same solution in a way that people that are not there can, that benefit from. So the demand kept coming. I kept running away from it until one day I went to the mall and somebody literally put physical cash in my pocket, because I was saying, like, I don't have anything. They will, oh, do you have anything written? Do you have a document? Do you have, like paperwork that you can say? I said, I have nothing. Anyway, that really made me to think, if truly I want to help these people, how I need to step forward. I need to go and learn the how to be able to provide this solution to people who are not necessarily in my locality, or even people that are in my locality but cannot come for one reason or the other. So I did more learning. Still, it was a struggle. Even after doing all the learning, I still struggled to come up on social media and say, this is what I do, this is who I am now. But luckily, I was under a mentorship program, and I had to make a first post. And that post was, well received. I was very encouraged, because even though I was so scared, same with my first video, I didn't want to do it. But because I was in a program that I needed to do a video, I did that video and I went straight to the washroom. My colleagues on the program were the ones that were telling me, oh, your video had XY reach or views. I'm like, what does that even mean? I didn't even know, because I wasn't doing it for that. I went through a lot of, trouble even doing it. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I came onto tech because of the big need for it. And it was not without its challenges. It was with a lot of mindset blocks. It was with a lot of fear, but with support, with understanding my why, with keening, I was able to really show up. And of course, I've been lucky, like coming onto this program to be a speaker. I didn't even know that, I'm like, me, alhamdulillah. So what I'm saying is that when you show up, despite fear, amidst instability, the doors would open. Like, I've been able to create coaching programs. I've had awards. I've had nominations. I've spoken on stages, and so much more, as benefits of me stepping forward despite my fear. Right. Okay. So my solution, because coming to the why, coming to the how, there's a GTTB framework that I share with my that I use in my coaching programs with my clients, in answering the question, how do I leverage tech for growth? As an online entrepreneur, as an aspiring coach, as a thought leader, as a professional. So I have the GTTB framework. The G stands for gift clarity. So what is your monetizable gift? As women, sometimes we are multi-talented. What is it that you have that you can show up with that is going to be your best bet. And usually it's an overlap between what you love to do, what there's a need for, and what you already have the capacity to run with right away. It's not something that you have to, study for 5 years or study for 2 years. Of course, you can continue studying, but you already have the capacity to step forward with it because you're so passionate, or you know enough, or you have enough experience just to step forward. So the second T is tribe attract. What is that? You know what you should be doing. You know the knowledge, your passion, or the experience that you want to share with people that you're deeply passionate about, and you know there's a need for it. How do you find people who need what you have? That's where the tribe attract comes in. How can you show up on social? What messaging should you be sharing? What freebie should you use? How do you engage with your audience, with people that love what you're doing? And the second thing is transform gift to products. So now you're online, now you're showing up, now you're visible. How do you create something that somebody can pay for? You have all these great ideas. I want you to help me. What is the structure? What is the vehicle that you can use to help me? So that's you creating products. It could look like ebooks, it could be coaching, it could be courses, it could be consulting, and many more. So the final B is build your brand or your business. And what does that involve? It involves you having structure, having assets for your branding, having sales and marketing systems so that your business can run even when you're not there. Right. Okay. So summary. How can I leverage social media for online success? Bringing it home a little bit more. You have to understand the value that you have. You can do it yourself. You can find help. You have to do the mindset work. There would always be fear with change. There would always be fear when you want to move forward, when you want to get better, when you want more, when you want to be more, when you want to make impact, when you want to live a more purpose-filled life. You would always have fear. It's normal. And it never goes away. You just get better at managing it. Even the Oprah Winfrey's of the world, even the Michelle Obamas of the world, if you read their biography, if you listen to their talks, they will tell you that they also still have that little bit of fear because it keeps you non-complacent, because it's sometimes part of natural reaction. Okay, so you show up after you've understood your value, you've done your mindset work, you show up with what the message, the advocacy, the knowledge that you want to share with people, the product that you have, and then you are clear about who you want to help so that you can curate your message so that you're speaking directly. If you're working, if you're looking to serve professionals or you're looking to serve Muslims, you need to speak in their language so that you can feel connected, kind of. It doesn't mean that you can't help everyone, but you knowing who you help the most. And what's the answer to that? Because a lot of people struggle with that. How do I know the person that I can help the most? The person that you can help the most is the person that you were 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 1 year ago. All right. And then it's important that you create your solution, like we said, into sellable products. And then don't be shy about it. Sing it, flaunt it, sell it so that everybody can. So in summary, as a quick roundup, I don't know how much more time. I'm trying to be quick so that 15 minutes sounds like. So let me see. Okay, 20 seconds more. All right, so we're done. So just basic steps, irrespective of the area of life or business that you have. How do you leverage tech for growth? Know that instability is life itself. Decide on your growth goal, research the tool or tech that you need, find support, and take action. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
I hope it wasn't too rushed. I
One
speak
thing I
fast
would not forget.
as well.
No, but one thing I wouldn't forget is sing it, sell it, and flaunt it. Because I feel like a lot of us struggled, especially with the sell it part. That part where we have to sell it. So, a lot of people are used to, let me just do it. Let me just, we don't feel like our skills are monetizable. And I think this is really, really crucial to it. Let us understand that you can monetize your skill. Because if you look at it, the people making money out of what they do, they are not better than you in the real scheme of things. It's not like all of them are better than people who are on your level, but they just push themselves and tell themselves that this little thing I have, I'm going to make money out of it. And they're confident, they're brave to do it. That's another thing, being brave to do it. May Allah reward you abundantly. It was really, it was something for me because I think it was speaking
Can I
to
say
me
something quickly?
Directly. Yes, please go on.
Can I say something quickly? Just like you mentioned, we struggle a lot with selling. I want to take that as a very quick question because that's a common question that I get asked. So the way to make selling easy for you is to see selling as a form of service, to see selling as a form of growth, to see selling as a form of learning. You get better as you do. And then when you sell, you are able to provide better value, better service to somebody more than the free can offer them. So you have to, that's how I help my clients anyway. You have to think of selling as a form of service. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much. Please don't forget, if you have questions, send it to the Q&A box so that we can take it. Please, let's send our questions to the Q&A box. I think you've taken my question, which is selling, and you've touched on it briefly, and I think that's really beautiful. Another thing also, and I have a question. If people don't have a question, I have a question, which is confidence. How do you, rise against the shyness, the fact that, oh, I don't think that I should sell this, that boldness, that courage? How do you instill that courage in yourself to move irrespective of where you are at?
For me, you have to think of the fact that there's somebody who needs what you have. And you not stepping forward is being unjust to that person. So you have to come from that angle of what I have is valuable. What I have, somebody desperately, not even that they just need it, somebody desperately needs it. So me not showing up is being unjust, is holding that person back, because that person cannot step forward until I show up, until I shine my light, until I make my offer available, until you're not going to strangle people's neck. Have you ever thought of Coca-Cola or any of those big companies? When they sell, when they do advertisement, they're already big, and they're still like marketing and selling. Do you think of them and think of them negatively? No, you sometimes even thank them for reminding you that you need what they offer, what they sell. So selling is service. You not showing up, you are being unjust to the person that needs what you have. End of story.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khairan, Sister Sharifa. May Allah continue to reward you, increase your knowledge. I can see a lot of people dropping comments, just reiterating how beautiful and awesome this session was, and this session has been. May Allah continue to reward you abundantly. All right, now we'll move on to our next. Please pardon me. All right, now we'll move on to our next speaker. We'll be taking the poll. We'll be sharing the poll now. Please let's react to the poll. Let's fill the poll. Let's say, what do we enjoy about the session? What have we been enjoying so far? What is that thing we think we can improve on? Because this is 8.0, mashallah. We're going to 10 soon. We can't, we have to keep progressing, keep getting it better. So you have a poll. Please, can you fill the poll? Let us know, what do you think about Dare to Inspire? The poll is showing right now. Please fill the poll. What do you think about Dare to Inspire? What have we been doing right? What are those things you can think we can improve on? I know some people have been saying more time, more time. You want to hear more from our speakers, I know, but Allah will make it easy. Also, we have to consider the fact that a lot of people have things to do. This is Ramadan. We want to ensure that you maximize the benefit of every hour in this month of Ramadan. So please fill the poll. Let's know what you would like us, what do you like to see for the next edition, and what you love about the current one. Right, so I can see a lot of people already filling the poll, but while we do that, I would like to introduce the next speaker. She also bears the same name as our last speaker. Well, not the same surname, but the same first name, and that's Sister Sharifa Yunus Olokodana. When I hear that name, it just gives a prestige to it. Olokodana, mashallah. And she'll be discussing on overcoming the stereotypes and building your brand as a Muslim woman. Who are you as a Muslim woman? So right now I'll be reading our profile for us to know who our sister is. Sister Sharifa Yunus Olukodano. Please, can we have a profile so that people can also go along with the profile? All right, so Sister Sharifa Yunus Olokodano is a remarkable culinary artist, instructor, and entrepreneur, boasting a rich 20-year journey in the world of baking. As the visionary founder of Sherry's Mama Delight, SMD, Sharifa leads a culinary revolution, advocating for healthier cooking practices. SMD's distinct offering lies in 100% natural, MSG-free, sugar-free, and artificial colors-free spice mixes, all NAFDAC approved. Sharifa is a seasoned baker with a specialization in desserts and bread. Not only imparts the secrets of spices and herbs, but also empowers aspiring chefs to formulate their unique spice mixes. Our commitment to changing the culinary landscape is evident in our mission to transform lives one meal at a time. Beyond the kitchen, Sharifa's impact extends to business training. Though the SMD Tijarati, where she imparts Sharia ruling on trading to Muslim women, through that, rather, she also provides consulting services to women-founded brands, unlocking their business potential through proven strategies, while emphasizing the importance of maintaining faith, home, and work balance. An accolade-worthy achievement came in January 2023 when Sharifa clinched the Business Day Top Fastest Growing SMEs in Nigeria Awards in the seasoning category. The international recognition of SMD's unique business journey, covered by over 30 news agencies like Reuters, DW, South China News, and BBC Africa, solidifies its status as a global phenomenon. Sharifa's multifaceted role includes facilitating the feeding, the fasting with SMD project, where thousands of first-class meals are provided to the less privileged during Ramadan, showcasing the philanthropic side of SMD. Simultaneously, her cooking show, Cooking with Sharifa, brings national and international celebrities to the SMD kitchen studio, creating delectable dishes using the signature spice. So are we ready for our sister? I can already see a lot of accolades coming in the chat. I can see the woman with great eloquence, bringing goodness to wellness through food and spices. Please let's welcome Sister Sharifa Yunus Olukodano. Mashallah. Please take it over, sis.
All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All the speakers. I'm going to start with a story. Sometimes about 7 years ago, I went to Alausa Secretariat for a business fair or exhibition affairs. There, I met a particular woman I was trying to speak to. Who actually wanted to give the woman a business opportunity where she would make a fair ground and all those stables for us for a particular event. And as I moved close to the lady and said hello to her, it wasn't public, okay? So as I moved close to her and said hello, the next thing she did was she ripped off my face veil and just yanked it off in the public. I was shocked. I was upset. I was lost for words. And the next thing I said was, she walked back. She said, I don't have time for you. You can go talk to my guys. And then she walked off. I walked after her and said, how dare you? And that led to a series of events that became viral. And the woman who did this was named. These are some of the stereotypes that faces a Muslimah. When I tried to report the case at the function that I went for, I remember one of the things the people said to me was that, oh, she was just scared. That's why she lifted up your face, your face veil. Another person said, oh, you know, Boko Haram and everything that's been happening. She needed to be sure that she's safe. I was shocked. I mean, she could have just said, oh, can I see who I'm speaking with? I could have found somewhere covered and I will show her who was behind the veil. But you can listen to what these people say. When she told me, I don't have time for you, go speak to our boys, I realized that she thought I wanted to ask her for a favor, maybe lobby for a stall that I already had. I was actually going to bring a business to her. But that's some of the stereotypes we face. The next thing were the men who said that, oh, she was just scared. Oh, she thought it was Boko Haram. These are some of the things that is expected or thought of us. The average Muslim woman is not expected to be seen or heard. We are thought to be people you can look down upon. We are thought to be women who should have no voice. They say that we are oppressed, and they can't imagine a Muslim woman in such gathering. Who is a Muslimah? A Muslimah is somebody who obeys the rules of our Lord, worships exactly as the men do. There's a very important ayah of the Quran where Allah talked to us about what Muslims are expected to do. In this ayah, He kept saying, and the Muslim men and Muslim women, and the Muslim men and there was no part that was just the male that were mentioned. This showed how important we are to the world and who we are in Islam. Now, I particularly loved this topic, building your brand despite these stereotypes. I mean, if I start the story of the things that have happened in my life or the people I know would not end the story. And I'm almost certain that every Muslimah in this gathering, I can see we're about 104, each of us have a story of stereotype to talk about. Now, how do you build a successful brand with all of this? The least perhaps that a Muslim woman would do is wear a scarf, and from the person who wears the scarf to the woman who does the most of probably wearing the face veil, we all have things that is said about us. Now, when you are in the average workforce, you would notice sometimes that even your colleagues have certain things that they expect for you. People will say things that, oh, Alaja, what do you need that money for when it comes to getting promotions at work? So they feel that we are laid back, we have no need for money, we are dirty, because I have heard people say that women who dress this way are dirty. Women who dress this way don't look good. How do we break these stereotypes and form successful businesses? How do we build this? Personally, I think I'm someone who is very stubborn. When I want to do something, I often go for it. And I also believe very strongly that we are all dawah tools, whatever part of the world we find ourselves or part of the business space we find ourselves, we are all tools of dawah. So how do we show the world this is who we are? Muslim women are amazing. We are intelligent, we are smart, we are resourceful. When we start something, we finish it. And I think one of the reasons why this is there are certain rules of Islam that is set out for both men and women. Now, when you take all of those things and put it into your life, what ends up happening is that you have something amazing. One of the things I would say when people ask me, how have you been able to build this brand to such a place that has become a global phenomenon? I say, I use the rules of Islam. How do I do this? There are things about being consistent. There's a verse of the Quran where Allah says the most favored deeds, good deeds that Allah loves are those ones that are done consistently. And the Prophet ﷺ continually used those things to encourage us that it's better to do something small and that you do consistently. Now, Allah has said, who are the best of people? He says the Muslims are the best of people. So it means that whatever I find myself as a business person or as a brand, I have to be the best in that space. I actually, in Nigeria, I would say digitally, I started the movement of natural seasoning. When I started, there was nothing like that in the space. There was nobody. We haven't heard people saying, don't use the regular seasoning cube. You have to use natural seasoning. And when I started, I knew it was not the best form of business. Now, the best form of businesses are that you find a need in the society and you seek to fulfill it in an easy way to be consumed. But what I did was I started a business that wasn't something that was needed. And this leads me to what are the best kind of businesses to do in order that you grow a brand that is worthwhile. You start with number one, something that you love doing. Yes, most of us, many people who start business today, they start it because well, we need money. There's always a need of adding something to our financial standing. That's why most people start business. But when you want to start a business, the best thing to do is something that you're passionate about, something that you love doing. Now, at that stage in my life, I was passionate about finding healthier options in my life and my children's life. The problem we had was that we fell ill very regularly, we were highly medicated, and I was so tired and done with always going to the hospital and spending a lot. So that was one of the reasons that I started tinkering my hands around spices and herbs. But don't forget, I started all this as a chef or specifically for baking. And I'm self-taught, so everything I bake, is it the bread, the pastries, the desserts, I'm self-taught. And the rule of being the best in what we do was what I put into the baking when I started about 20 years ago. I ensured that I was best in that field. So then I would go around Lagos, find out, buy things from places that people say, oh, these people have amazing pastries. Oh, these people have the most beautiful, delicious desserts. I would buy that. I would produce mine. Once I think that this thing is as good as that, the next step is not to stay there. I would do things to ensure that I break that backbone. Breaking the backbone means that I did it better than them. And I didn't stop at what I think was good. I gave the specimen of what or each of those things I did, I gave it out. And I ensured the kind of people I would give it out to. Most of the time, I would use for my quote and unquote lab rats, I would use people who travel outside Nigeria, people who have who understand what the culinary outfit is, who understand how different kind of things are meant to taste. I use foodies. And when they tell me, oh, I don't think that I've had this before. Oh, this then reminds me when I went to France. This reminds me of the regular tea biscuits and Britain. That is when I stop at that thing. So what it meant is that I ensure that I did everything in such a way that it beats what you have in the market. So this is what it means by being the best in what you do. Now, another problem I see most of business women have in recent times is that they don't go into business with understanding of how to do it right. They don't have adequate knowledge of the finances. They don't have adequate knowledge of what you do. Even if you have a hobby, you have something that you love most, it's still better for you to learn about how to do it. And most importantly, understanding the Sharia implication of doing business. Look, whoever comes into business with Allah, I can promise you by his name that that person will succeed. If you do anything, remembering that this is what Allah has said I should do, or this is what Allah has said I cannot do. There's nobody who goes into a business with Allah that Allah would not add blessings to that business. So the first thing, oh, you have the hobby, oh, you have the knowledge. The next thing, and probably even the first thing, is having the knowledge of, is this thing halal? Am I going to go against the rules of Allah? That is why I said for every Muslim who wants to run a business or even work, you have to have the understanding of the Sharia implication of each of those businesses, such that at the end of the day, there's blessing of your Lord. Now, one of the greatest thing for my brand is social media. I mean, social media is a fantastic tool that if you use it, the greatness is amazing. But to do that, you still have to have the knowledge of how to use social media in a way that benefits you. Many of us are not, when we do business, we do it as a result of a need. I started business as a result of a need. We have to get to a stage that you are intentional about it. My intentionality means that I needed to study how social media works. I needed to plan and execute what I do in business. And one of the things is by collaboration. Number one, you have to have the knowledge of smartphone photography. How do you use your smartphone? How do you create content? Learning how to write well is an advantage in helping you build a successful brand. Then you have to have an idea of how to do videos. You have to have the tools that will help you do well on social media. The next thing is collaboration. Many of us think that collaboration means, oh, excuse me, SMD, I want to collaborate with you. When I ask you what is it, what do you have for me? They say, okay, I want you to show your audience how we use this thing. I'm going to give it to you for free. That is not collaboration. When you want to collaborate with a brand, you go to that brand and tell them what they can get from having something to do with you? What is the benefit for them? So that was one of the things I did. You spend money to make money. I built my teaching studio with a lot of millions. And at first I thought that, oh, I spent too much doing this thing. I was unable to rent it out. But in it, I created a program that's been wonderful. What I created was a cooking show where I used my natural seasoning. And then I started inviting celebrities and influencers. Because of these stereotypes, I get a lot of no's. These are the things that people would expect. Oh, what can she give me? Oh, I don't want to have anything to do with her, especially because I wear the face veil. So I got a lot of no's. But don't forget, I said I'm a very stubborn person. Every no meant that I had to work more. So I did influencing with a whole lot of brands. Some of them said yes. Some of them said no, and it didn't work at first. But I didn't stop. Now, what I get is amazing. What I get now is that I have people outside Nigeria who would send me, slide into my DM or send me email and say they want to have a collaborative effort with me. So with my cook show, even though my reach might not be so large as many of their reach, they still respect the brand enough to want to collaborate with them. This is a 15-minute talk. I wondered how I was going to cut through most of the important things, but as much as possible, I just decided, look, I had a whole lot of things that I said, you know what, I have too much to give. At the end of the day, I realized the best way to go is just use myself, the stereotypes I've faced, and then the wins I have gotten, building a successful brand. Please don't let anybody tell you that as a Muslim woman, you cannot achieve everything you dream to achieve. You just need to be very good, have knowledge of it, put Allah first, be consistent, and you're going to build a brand that is amazing. There are lots of things that happen in my life that without social media, I wouldn't get it. And there are new things coming into my life without me being consistent, placing myself up there, and also being careful of the voice that comes out to the people. My brand is a quote-unquote classy formal brand. Most of the time, I talk like a business, and that is why I have gotten the amount of awards I've gotten. I mean, I have gotten, I got a mail from The Guardian. They were going to add me to, they said 50 CEOs to watch out for, 50 inspiring CEOs to watch out for in 50 inspiring CEOs in 2023. And then a business day of 100 most inspiring women in Nigeria. And then a Pan-African award. All this happened because of certain things. Using the rules of Allah to guide you, being consistent in what you do, looking towards formidable collaborations, and ensuring you put your businesses in a place of worth, having understanding of how to run the business, the financial side of it, the content creating part of it, and just ensuring that you have a brand that is consistent and could meet any of the world parameters for success. I see myself on Forbes very soon, inshallah, and this is one of the things look at where else can I get to. Your hijab doesn't take anything from you. It doesn't stop you from being the best among you. What the hijab does for you is to ensure that you are the best in what you do at every point of your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Jazakumullah khaira. It's like that what you just said, literally, that hijab is not a hindrance. You know, it's never a hindrance to anyone. And also you have to be stubborn about your goals. You have to just put yourself there and say, I deserve, even if they don't want you at the table, tell them I deserve.
Deserve to be at this table.
I tell them I deserve to be at this table. May Allah make it easier and reward you abundantly. Thank you so much for that eye-opening session. I could see a lot of comments coming in, you know, people being once more being reminded that they shouldn't see the hijab as a hindrance. Rather, they should see it as a means to grow, a means to obey Allah, and a means to also take Allah in our journey. Because, you know, in this world, it's really easy to see hijab as, oh, it's holding me back from this. But then at the end of the day, we have to know that what is for us is for us. What isn't for us is not for us. We just need to
And sorry, allow me to mention one last thing.
Please
as Muslims, we do not follow the trend. Because something is trending doesn't mean that we have to follow it. You should always put the respect of yourself, the place Allah has put Muslim women. Always remember that. I've seen quite a number of sisters trying to follow trend to build their brand, but doesn't really build it. Something that at the end of the day goes after against the rule of your Lord, please, it doesn't matter. I did a video, my first trend. I did a video trend among the millions of trends that happened since I joined Instagram. And guess what? That video went viral. It was decent, it was fun, and so much so that I'll go out and I get people, especially when I'm with my children, they'll say, oh, sorry, sir, SMD, I've gone to banks, I've gone to superstores, and especially when my kids with they'll say, oh, sorry, start an SMD, and I get lots of hugs, ordinarily from people who are, before they would look at me and say, oh, I don't want to have anything to do with this lady. So always remember that the rules of Allah come first. You do not have to follow every trend on TikTok or Instagram. Ensure that it goes with the value of Islam so that the blessings of Allah is in what you do.
All right, mashallah. Thank you so much for that enlightening session. May Allah continue to reward you. Right now, we'll move on to the closing remarks. I don't think people have questions because you've answered everything through and through. All right, so now let's go on to the closing remarks, which will be given by Sister Lola Yunus. She was once a speaker, also on Here to Inspire. Please, let's do this 5 minutes. I'm sure you can get it done. All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's been amazing. I'll keep this very short. I've got a timer here myself. But firstly, I just want to say Jazakallah khairan to the organizers. 8.0, wow. This is just to add to the consistency. My sister, Sharifa Yunus, that I feel so privileged that she just spoke. It's about the consistency. So being paid to the organizers, to everybody, thank you so much. This is something we really need in our community. And Jazakallah khairan for the consistency. It gets better every year. I want to acknowledge all the speakers. Dr. Amina that first spoke, and I think the highlight, she kept it very beautiful and short. She talked about the 3 S's, smile, strike, and soar. Amidst different instability in life, if we adopt those 3 strategies, those are things that can really help us. And then Sister Maimuna from Kenya, I'm always very happy when we see sisters outside of our Nigerian community. It just shows the beauty of Islam. And Sister Maimuna spoke about money management in a high inflationary environment. And one key thing I took away, and I'm sure a lot of us took away, is making decisions about money in a calm way. And I think for a lot of young people, because I know Dare Inspire is focused and targeted at young women, sometimes we have a job we absolutely hate. I've been there, and you just resign. Maybe something. Sometimes we have to for our mental health, but 9 out of 10 times, what we can do sometimes is just be calm. Take a holiday, take 1 week, and come back. Because having that financial independence and freedom is key. So money management is something that I hope as we progress in the year, we'll all be mindful for, especially as women. We need to have our own money. And then we moved on to my beautiful sister, who is also my birthday mate, Sister Sharifa Talago in Canada. Mashallah, lovely speech, sis. And Sister Sharifa talked about leveraging technology. I've watched Sister Sharifa's journey on Instagram. It's just a joy to see her. And the key thing she mentioned was about GTTB framework: gift clarity, tribe attract, transform gift to product, and build your brand, build your business. Without even explaining anything, taking away that framework, that in itself, it's how we use technology. The world is flat. It is up to us. We can use technology to do different things. Just last week, I needed to do a letterhead urgently. I didn't have a letterhead, and I needed to send a letter to a very important organization. I called my wonderful brother Amid in Nigeria. I said, Amid, I can do it myself. It will probably take me 2 hours, but I know you can get it done in 20 minutes. Amid, can you do this? He did it in like 10 minutes. And he just said, send me. I said, I have to pay. He said, pay whatever. And that's money. It could be maybe for a recharge card. But imagine that skill, him just having that skill. He used technology, did everything on his phone, done. Maybe it's recharge card money, maybe it's transport money, he got it. So young people here today, please find a skill, which Sister Maimuna also spoke about. Find a skill in order to use for money management. And then we finish off with Sister Sharifa Yunus Olukudano. Even when you read her bio and said 20 years, I'm like, you've been doing this 20 years, subhanAllah. the beauty of consistency. I pray my life for consistency because I'm an idea burst. Today, I want to do 10,000 things, but the consistency, subhanAllah, that's one key thing I'm taking away. And my sister spoke about, we are all dawah tools. When she said that, I had goosebumps. Some of us are in corporate world. They see the hair. I even forget I wear hijab most of the time, to be honest. But occasionally I do, particularly when I'm going to certain countries like the US, where it's hard. In London, a lot of people wear hijab. It's not unusual. But you go to certain countries. I just came back from a particular country. For 3 days, I didn't see somebody in hijab. And for the first time, I was like, I remembered I wear hijab. And the stereotype, we all have it in different ways, but this Sister Sharifa, she shared a story how she's using, despite the stereotype, she's breaking barriers and she's getting the recognition she deserves. In conclusion, I just want to say again, a huge thank you to all the speakers, a huge thank you to the organizers, and I'll just end with a very short prayer. I'm going to read Fatiha in an unusual way, but I'm going to read it in English because sometimes I think we all pray, we say Fatiha, we all know what it means, but sometimes saying it in a language that we really use all the time is just a beautiful way to remind us. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise and thanks are Allah's, the Lord of the world, the most gracious, the most merciful, the only owner of the day of judgment. You alone we worship, you alone we ask for help. Guide us to the straight path. O Allah, guide us to the straight path. The way of those whom you have bestowed your grace on, not the way of those who have earned your anger. Ameen. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, everyone. Jazakallah Karen for inviting me again to give this thank you speech. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah Karen. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for carrying us along with the translation. Not a lot of people actually think about it, the translation. What are we really saying? And for you saying that, I think it just makes us reflect again, especially when you emphasize, guide us to the right path. May Allah keep our feet firm on the path of Islam. And that brings us to the end of Dare to Inspire 8.0, mashallah. I saw a lot of positive comments, a lot of people saying, I learned so much. This session is an eye-opener. I took a lot out of this session. Don't worry, we have bigger and better things to come next year, 9.0. For those of you who have been following us all along from 1.0 to now, you know that we always come with big things. We always inspire, enlighten, educate, and also have fun while at it, because it's very important we do. May Allah continue to reward us abundantly. Thank you so much, our convener, Queen B. Thank you for always coming together, putting this forward, and always ensuring that we don't lack it every year, because I know it's not easy to every year to remain consistent. Consistency is a key that a lot of people don't have, but you've remained consistent. May Allah reward you abundantly. And for all of us on this platform, may Allah reward us abundantly and let us get the benefit of the month of Ramadan. On that note, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I remain Rukoya. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.